Okay, here we go. Raw review. Raw opens with Roman Reigns. He asked Seth Rollins to come out and join him. Seth comes out, and Roman basically says, Seth, hey, I want to put the band back together. I think that's exactly what he said, actually. And Seth is hesitant about this, and you can kind of understand why with everything he's been going through with Dean Ambrose lately. But he agrees eventually that if it's what Roman wants, then he's down with it too. He's cool. And I apologize if I sound a little under the weather. I think I kind of have been nursing a little bit of a sinus thing for most of like February. So, anyway, he agrees. That's what Roman wants. He'll do it. Dean Ambrose comes out, and before he can even speak, Elias shows up and hits him in the back with a guitar. And that's kind of the end of that. Then we get Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman in a 6-man tag match with the Boring Boys. If you don't know who the Boring Boys are, that's Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre. And Drew by himself is not so boring, but when he gets lumped in with the other two, it's just they're the Boring Boys. Anyway, we get kind of a cool spot where Braun Strowman, you think it's about to be the end of the match. Braun Strowman picks up Baron Corbin into the power slam, and as he's got him up over the shoulder, tags in Finn Balor, slams him down for the power slam. Balor, in the meantime, was like climbing up to the top rope to do the coup de grace, and he hit it. And during the pin, Lio Rush kind of interloped and intervened into the match and ruined the pinning opportunity there. And instead, what we got is what happened? Kind of the action moved outside the ring, and Braun Strowman goes to do like the Braun thing where he runs around the ring and then tackles somebody, and he goes to tackle Bobby Lashley, who moves out of the way just in time, and Braun goes right through the barricade, and he's kind of just out. So then Baron Corbin, I believe, gets the pin on... No, it was Bobby Lashley got the pin on Finn Balor, and that was the end of the match. And they all kind of teamed up on Balor and Angle after the match because Strowman was not there to help defend his team, so it was 3-on-2. And so what, kind of, right? Like, there was a few nasty environmental attacks and stuff, and that seems to be part of the Boring Boys, their way of, like, their MO. And I don't know if it's to make us more interested in them, like, oh, well, they can't just be heels and do standard wrestling stuff. We have to make sure that they're really getting kind of extra violent so that people are interested. A part of me thinks that is a little bit of what's going on with Raw in general. This was I think this is like 3 Raws in a row now, definitely 2, that have been kind of straight out of the Attitude Era in certain aspects. And not altogether for the worse. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try and say that I haven't enjoyed the last 2 episodes of Raw more than I enjoyed maybe the 3 before it. I think I did. So Triple H comes out and kind of basically goes a long way to reminding us all that wrestling is fake. He says that his feelings are hurt about what happened to Ric Flair, but not about Ric Flair, but about Richard Fliehr, who, I guess that's Ric Flair's real name. I know the Fliehr part is true. I didn't know his real name was Richard. For some reason, I assumed it was something else. But for whatever, it doesn't even matter if it is or not, really. He's upset about Richard Fliehr, the man, not Ric Flair, the character. Okay. And so then he comes out and he says, his beef with Batista is with Batista, the man, Dave Batista, not Batista the character. And you know, it was actually a really good promo, despite the fact that I'm not crazy about some of the content of the promo and like the way they're going about it. I really do believe in like I'm willing to buy into it sense that Batista and Triple H are quarreling. I believe that. I believe they don't like each other. I believe they really want to fight. Just like I believe that Becky and Ronda, with all the Twitter stuff going on in the last week, where Ronda called the mug shots fake, that Becky took the mug shots in the hallway, which I mean obviously she did. This is wrestling. They went right back there in the back hallway of the arena and took the mug shots. There's not even height markers on the wall in the mug. I want that shirt. I'm not trying to dog it. I love Becky Lynch. I love wrestling. I know it's fake. I don't care that it's fake. I buy into the storylines. Comic books are fake. I'm a huge comic books fan. Movies are fake. TV shows are fake. It's all fake. So that doesn't, the fact that the mug shots were taken in the hallway, Becky didn't really go to jail, doesn't ruin the shirt for me. It doesn't ruin the picture for me. It doesn't ruin the storyline for me. None of that ruins it for me. And Ronda getting a little bit. Ronda has had people cheering Becky during her matches for the last month. She can't make it through a promo without the Becky chants kind of seeming to make her kind of flub her lines a little bit more than she normally would. She's gotten a lot better. She had at least gotten a lot better in the months leading up to this kind of Becky character shift, insertion into the Raw picture stuff. Like, she'd gotten a lot better and seems to be very affected personally by the way the crowd is reacting to her. And a lot of that came out in this Twitter stuff and her talking about how she could beat Becky for real. And for real? You mean wrestling's not real, Ronda? Like, this is some weird stuff that's been going on. I don't hate it. I just kind of wish they would drop the references to wrestling being fake. I kind of wish they would do that. I kind of wish they would drop everything that has them acknowledging the fakeness of it. When it comes to serious feuds and serious things that we're supposed to invest in emotionally. And like I said, despite the fact that I wish that they were not incorporating that aspect of it as much, I really do like the heat between Becky and Ronda right now, and between Triple H and Batista. Batista, kind of scary right now. He just attacked a 70-year-old man. A newly 70-year-old man, but 70 nonetheless. Anyway, we have an Elias versus Dean Ambrose match that has some decent little bumps in it. Dean sells his injury from the guitar attack earlier really well throughout the entire match. Eventually, Elias counters one of Dean's top rope, like overhand smash of some type, I think it was. It wasn't anything like an elbow drop or something, I don't think, because Elias was on his feet by then. But he counters a top rope maneuver with a knee right to Dean's face, and then he hits the drift away, and he gets a pin. It really only serves. Whoop, excuse me, my notes app is falling away here. Okay. It really only serves as an opportunity to reintroduce Seth and Roman back in to the equation. And Dean turns down their proposition again this time, and he goes to leave through the audience, like walking away, not even back to the locker room, but like out to the concession stand, you know? And he's walking up the stairs, and here come the Boring Boys again. And they're out to talk some stuff about the Shield. And then all of a sudden, the Boring Boys were going 3-on-2 against Roman and Seth. And Dean looks all conflicted. He's like looking up at the exit, and he's looking over at the ring, and he does one of these. And if he had a ponytail, it would have been whipping around just like mine was, because he looked like Scooby-Doo out there. Like, what am I going to do? Right? And so he eventually runs to the ring, just like we all knew he would. And he plays Conquering Hero and bounces the Boring Boys right out of the ring. And eventually they all throw the fists in. We're getting a Shield reunion. That 6-man tag match will be happening at Fastlane. After that, there was a tag championship match between Ricochet and Aleister Black and the Revival. And that match was interrupted by Chad and Bobby. And so there will be a triple threat. And it was like an entertaining spot. I don't remember any one thing over any of the rest of it, other than I'm left feeling that these are 3 teams. I'm left feeling that it might be a little early for Aleister Black and Ricochet to be involved in the tag team championships. I'm also left feeling relieved that this is happening on a Raw segment. And I also feel so that they're not involved in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship picture, because that's good enough already in comparison to Raw. It could certainly be better. I would love for it to be better. But in comparison to what Raw has been like for a year now, I think it's fair to say the Tag Team Championship, the Tag Team division on SmackDown is just better. And I kind of almost hope that we see the Hardy Boys together over on Raw soon too, because again, we don't need them on SmackDown. So either way, there's definitely going to be a triple threat match. And in fact, I don't like to have spoilers before I get to it, because I'm usually a day behind. Sometimes with Raw, I'm 2 days behind, because I often don't get a chance to watch on Tuesday because of work. So I don't like to see things that I've seen posted online. WWE posted the card for Fastlane. I already know what's happening at Fastlane. So we will be seeing the triple threat tag match between the Revival, Aleister Black and Ricochet, and Chad and Bobby. That's 3 good teams. I can't say I've got a problem with that. I do kind of wish that they would just go all the way, and maybe they will, who knows. But I kind of wish they'd go all the way and make it like a ladder match or something that involves all 6 competitors in the ring at the same time, or in battle at the same time. I don't really like the standard 3-team tag match dynamic. Some people may like the chaos of people being able to tag people who aren't their own partner and get into the match. I don't. Maybe I'm in the minority. I bet it'll be a fun match either way. I'm not trying to say straight up I don't like those matches. That's not what I mean. I prefer other avenues. If you were going to do a tag team championship match and have 3 teams involved, there are other match types than a standard tag match that I think make for much more entertaining watching. So Becky Lynch is coming out for a contract signing. He's going to sign I won't sue WWE if Charlotte Flair kills me or something. And in the process of that, Ronda Rousey comes out and gets her Raw Women's Championship back. Because this match between Ronda or Becky and Charlotte was supposed to be for the vacant Raw Women's Championship. If you remember last week, Ronda just left the belt sitting in the middle of the ring and walked off. So in this situation, I mean, this is kind of what I expected would happen, I suppose, is something similar to this. I didn't really think that we would be seeing Becky and Charlotte duke it out for the Raw Women's Championship. And if we did, it was only going to be so that Ronda could win it back at WrestleMania. And I don't think that that's I don't think that's as cool of a story as Becky going in there and taking it from her, just to be completely frank, right? So Ronda comes in, she gets her championship back. That's great. Steph says that we still have to have a match, though, at Fastlane between Charlotte and Becky. So if Charlotte wins, Becky is done for good, has to retire or something, or quit. And if Becky wins, then WrestleMania is a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship between those three women. And so we know what's going to happen. I don't like that stipulation. I mean, maybe they'll surprise us and have Becky lose and have to, a month of her clawing her way back to WrestleMania. But it's already been a month of her clawing her way back into the WrestleMania, or 3 weeks at least of her clawing her way back into the WrestleMania picture after earning it at Royal Rumble. How many times do you have to take it away from her? So I just feel like what's going to ultimately happen is at Fastlane, we will see Becky beat Charlotte, and we'll get the triple threat match that we knew was coming all along. It would have been more entertaining if they did this match instead of it, which is why I have suspicions that they might actually make Becky lose, which I think would ultimately be bad. I don't think we need any more of that. But if they weren't at least okay with that idea, the better stipulation for this match would have been if Becky wins, it's 1-on-1 at WrestleMania versus Ronda Rousey. And if Charlotte wins, it's a triple threat. And then have Charlotte win. And I wouldn't know for a fact going into that match what I wouldn't feel as strongly as I do right now that I know how that match is going to end if that were the stipulation instead. I think that's how I feel about it. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Either way, by the end of it, Ronda, again, she goes on some big, she turns heel, and she's got good reason to turn heel. She acknowledges what I said earlier and have said a bunch of times in my videos that the crowd chants for Becky while Ronda's in the ring, and it makes her mad. And Ronda can really actually beat up the majority of these women. She's an actual, and not just MMA, because I think women's MMA has far surpassed Ronda Rousey's ability. Like Dana White basically created that division for Ronda. So, and then since then, we've had a bunch of people following in her footsteps that are much better strikers. They're much better at at wrestling. They're just, like, Ronda wasn't a great striker. That's kind of, I feel like that's kind of where there were holes in her fight game. But Ronda was an Olympic medalist in judo, I believe. I mean, that's a combat sport. And a UFC champion. Like, I'm not trying to say that just because the women's division is better now that Ronda didn't have to earn that belt. She did. It's just Amanda Nunes dominated. I don't want to get here to talk about MMA a bunch. Ronda was great at MMA. She's great in a wrestling ring, and she's a very real life, dangerous woman who none of these women in WWE would really want to mess with, right? And that's got to be frustrating for her. I know it's fake fighting, but she's not getting the respect from the fake fight audience that this actor, basically, and Becky Lynch, this glorified actor, is getting. And that's got to upset her a little bit. So she turns heel. She mentions all this stuff, but she also kind of, again, shows us wrestling isn't real when she comes out and says that, you know, I'm sick of all of your fantasies, when she points at the audience. Damn the man, screw the woo. I mean, she really comes out and says, like, I could beat up any of these women in real life, and I don't appreciate the way I'm being treated and respected by the people who watch this product. And so she turns heel and badly beats up Becky Lynch. And that's where Raw ends. That's where they leave us. So I will see you guys either later today or tomorrow, depending on when I get a chance to watch SmackDown today. All right, I'll see you soon.